guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can read from the title and the food that's in front of me, we are going to be filming a mukbang today, my first official one. I have been practicing how to say mukbang properly. Harry has been teaching me ever since last night, and I've been like practicing since then. Practiced some this morning when I was filming mukbang. Pretty much the way he taught me how to say it, if you guys like are interested. The first half you should say like mock, kind of like you're mocking someone, mock exam. So that's the first half, mock. And the second half, how we say room in my language, we say bang, and if you want to say poo, you say bang sai. He just told me to use that bang as the second half, so you put them together, you have mock bang, mukbang. But I feel like the more I say it, the more I'm like driving myself crazy, so I'm gonna stop saying that word. You guys get what I mean. I think I pronounced it correctly. I asked you guys last night over on Instagram to send me some questions so we can have a chat, eat together, kind of like just chill out with friends, you know, and just eat. So yeah, I think the first thing I should do is show you guys my food, because that's what mukbangs are about. For my first ever mukbang, I wanted to get my favorite food in the entire world, which is jjajangmyeon. So this is black bean noodle, it's like dry noodles. My one has a bit of seafood in it. It has a bit of shrimp, I think like squid rings. It's really nice. The first time I ever had this was in Korea, and ever since then I was like obsessed with it. I don't eat it often because Harry doesn't allow me to like eat junk food, which I'm so grateful for, that he keeps me on track with my diet. But you know, I've been craving this for so long, and I'm like so happy that I can finally eat it. They also give you yellow radish. If you eat at the restaurant, you can actually pour vinegar in, which is what I would do. This amount of radish is not enough for me, so I have my own radish over here. This is white radish. And Harry's 엄마, his mum, she always makes us our side dishes. So she knows I love radish, like I live and breathe radish. I literally eat this as a snack. Like I'll eat it on its own and just watch Running Man, and I'll just eat it. I just love radish so much. I also have this. This is corn soup. It's from the same restaurant, by the way. This is actually a portion for two, so I'm not gonna eat all of it. I wanna save some for Harry because he likes it as well. But their corn soup is really good. And I also just have an apple juice here, and that's my meal. This is just my favorite kind of food. So let's have my first bite before we answer any questions. I've been waiting for this thing. This is my first meal of the day, by the way, guys. I really don't know how this mukbang is gonna go, because I don't know like about talking and eating at the same time, so I'm gonna be like this half the video probably. Let's go to the questions. I see that there are a lot of like kind of similar questions, repeat questions. So over the screen, I'll just put the question up and all like the usernames that ask me like a similar question to this, so that way like no one is like left out, because I don't want anyone to feel left out. First question is, when did you first start playing around with makeup? I started playing around with makeup kind of when like Michelle Phan was like really big on YouTube. She was definitely the biggest influence for makeup for me. I really wonder, do people just eat with their mouth open? I feel so rude. Okay, the next question is, what is your favorite ColourPop product? I would say probably the eyeshadows, because that's what I get most excited for. And I think for the price and the quality, like they're really great. And it's something that I use like every day in my routine. So I would have to say the eyeshadow palette. And my favorite eyeshadow palette as of now is the Disney one. It's the princess thing. Next question is, what's your current YouTube setup? Camera, lights, mic, etc. My one's very basic, nothing too crazy. For camera, for my beauty videos, I use the Canon 750D, and I just use the lens that comes with it. It's not a separate lens. The camera, oh, it's right here. This one. This is the 750D. You can buy different lenses if you want, but I'm not a baller, okay? Maybe later in the future when I can afford it, I'll definitely upgrade, but it's lasted me for a really long time, maybe like 2 years at this point. And the camera that I'm using right now, that one is the Canon G7X Mark II on a little tripod. It's the Manfrotto one. Like everybody has this setup, like the G7X and the Manfrotto tripod. Everyone has it. It's the tripod with the red circle on it. As for lighting, I use natural lighting. I have a big window in front of like my camera camera and I just use that. Obviously you guys can tell it's natural lighting. You can see sometimes I'm a little bit cooler, sometimes I'm a little bit warmer because it depends when the sun wants to hide or come out. I used to have soft boxes and a ring light, but I just don't like how it looks. I feel like if you want to use artificial lighting, you kind of have to really invest in it, because I see some YouTubers that have artificial lighting and they have like millions and millions of subscribers, but I just don't like how their lighting looks because sometimes it can make you look really yellow, like really yellow, like orange. Also it can make you pull a little bit green. I feel like if you don't know what you're doing, don't buy it, just use natural lighting. One day I would love to have lighting like Desi's, Katie, Jacqueline, Nikki Tutorials. I feel like their lighting is really good, but obviously it's like really expensive. I just want that lighting because I can film anytime. I can film very early in the morning, late at night, but because I use natural lighting, there's a specific time that I need to start filming and kind of finish filming by. And as for a mic, I don't have a mic. It's something that I want to purchase definitely this year. Next question is, any plans for traveling / vacation this year? Obviously we have talked about it, but we haven't planned anything yet. Her and I are always talking about traveling and places that we want to go, but we haven't booked anything, haven't planned it, haven't looked into it. We really want to go back to Korea because Korea was like the first place that we traveled together and we were very young. I feel like we didn't get to explore Korea enough, and after watching Running Man a lot, I really want to go back to Korea. Like, you know, since Korea is close to Japan, I'm like, maybe we could stop in Japan. I want to go like a little bit of China, maybe like Hong Kong or something. We're just talking about it. We haven't really planned anything. We are going to Wellington, which is here in New Zealand. It's like an hour flight from Auckland for a wedding. It's one of our friends' weddings. She's actually a YouTuber as well, and I actually met her because of YouTube. We are friends because of YouTube, which is so crazy that like I'm attending her wedding. She lives in Wellington. Her name is Denise Lim. I'll link her channel down below if you guys are into like Korean beauty. She has it all. But yeah, we're going to her wedding in Wellington in March. So that's the only traveling that we have planned so far. And recently, if you guys are familiar with Strictly Dumpling, Mikey Chim, he just went to Japan and Korea recently, and he's been uploading his videos and the food just looks so good. So yeah, definitely like Asia again. I just feel like Asia is, I don't know, a little bit more comfortable for us to travel because it's just a little bit easier. Like I want to go to Europe and stuff and like the States and Canada and everything like that, but I feel like for those countries you need like a lot more money. Next question, why did you decide to start a YouTube channel and how did your parents react to it? I've always wanted to do YouTube, like just watching Michelle Phan, and just it's so crazy, like you can make a living of this. No matter what your hobby is, you can kind of make it into a career, and it just blew my mind. And I just love makeup. I've always loved it, and before I did YouTube I would post on my Instagram sometimes of like my makeup flat lays, and people that I knew would like ask me like, how does this work? Do you like it? And I would give them my advice, and it just made me feel good like helping people out with that aspect, and I feel like YouTube was like the platform to do it. And the second part is, how did your parents react to it? When I first filmed, I filmed at my parents' house, so they kind of knew it. Like, what is my child doing in her room, like talking to herself? They would see the tripod, they would see the camera, the setup, and I just told them like, yeah, I'm filming YouTube videos. And at first I feel like they didn't take it as seriously, and I feel like right now they still don't as much. But my parents, in a way, they are pretty chill. They just always want me to be happy at the end of the day. So yeah. Next question, what is your cat's breed? I think they're just both tabby cats. I don't think they're any kind of special breed. Next question, how do you clean your beauty blender and brushes? I just use a bar soap, guys. I just use that. But the thing with me, I wash my brushes every time I use it. With my eye brushes, every time I use it, I will wash it like right after, because usually I film and the next day I need to film again. I'm using different shadows, so I always need them to be clean. For my face brushes, I wash them once a week. And for my beauty blender, every time when I go to wet it, I'll take my bar soap and just clean it. So like I clean it every time I use. Maybe that's why my beauty blender is always so clean. Next question is, what does your dream palette look like? I have an idea of what my dream palette would look like. I have shade names for my dream palette. I don't want to like say anything too much because like one day when it does come true, if it does come true, I want it to be like a surprise till that day, far in the future. It'll have some like neutrals, and I really like green eyeshadow. Like green is one of my favorite colors, so something like that. So the next question is pretty interesting because they're asking, how's living in New Zealand? I am planning to further study there and you are so pretty. Oh, thanks girl, you're so cute. But living in New Zealand, like in my last Q&A, a lot of you guys asked me if I've ever thought of like moving out of New Zealand, and at that time I said no. But it's funny now because like 6 months later my whole view has changed and I'm like, yes. Living in New Zealand is great, but it's just like a really small place. When you travel and you see how world the big is, you just realize like how small New Zealand is, how limited we are to so many things. I have this urge just to like move, but obviously I can't do that right now because money, and my biggest worry is our cats. Just moving them to another country, like I don't know. Like I know it's possible and you can do that, there are services for that, but yeah, it's just it's hard to like think about putting like my cats like in a plane separate from me, and you don't get them right away when you land, you get them like a day or two later, you know, when the time is right. And if it's in our plans, God wants it to happen, then I'm all good. But yeah, I do want to move, like for sure. I just don't want to be in New Zealand. Me and Harry both, so yeah. I should have some of this soup, shouldn't I? Next question is, do you have any tattoos? Just these two. I'm getting them lasered off. So I kind of have tattoos because they're like fading. It's taking me so long to get these lasered off, but we're slowly getting there. I had a bad time with the previous tattoo artist and I just don't like how it looks. Next question is, did you go to university? If so, what did you do? Yes, I did, for 1 year. I dropped out of high school a year early to go to uni to do a certificate course, and I did that. I got my certificate and then I didn't carry on to do my bachelor. Go to nail color. The only nail polishes I have are all from KL Polish. I threw out all my other like OPI nail polishes because they're not cruelty free. But my favorite ones from KL Polish are Coconut Water, Taurus, Aquarius. Can you tell us some of your New Year's resolutions? I personally don't really believe in New Year's resolutions as much. I mean, it's a good time to set new goals and things, but I feel like if you want to change, you don't have to wait for a new year. You can just start the next day and just change, you know what I mean? But I've always had this kind of resolution on my mind. I feel like I get this trait from my dad. Like, he is like a workaholic and so am I. I cannot sit still. I always need to be doing something. And sometimes I forget, like I just need to like relax, like take some time off for yourself. And I feel like I've kind of improved a little. I would always put work first, editing first, over everything, and it is kind of like a little bit dangerous in a way that like YouTube, you have to work from home, and I love staying home. I love being at home, being alone. But Harry is not like that. He is kind of like in between. Like, he likes to stay home, but he also wants to go out, go for a walk and like do things. But I'm just like, nah, I rather stay home. And I, you know, obviously want to make my partner happy as well. So I gotta kind of learn to like just stop editing, stop damn working, and go outside and enjoy nature, fresh air. Like, you know, I just feel like I need to give myself like some more time, like to relax. I feel like last year I really burnt myself out. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, sometimes my upload days, you know, usually it is Tuesdays and Fridays, like New Zealand time. And before, I would be so strict on it. I would like make sure like Tuesday and Fridays I am uploading. If I don't upload on these days, literally I will like cry. I'll get so mad. I'll just like rage. But now more recently I'm like, it's fine. Like it's okay if I upload a day late or 2 days late, as long as I'm getting 2 videos up that week, I'm okay. Like, spend some time for yourself with Harry. So that's one of my New Year's resolution. I haven't got it completely, but I'm trying. Another question is, will you ever come to Montreal, Canada? Yes, I want to go Canada so bad. But like I said, I feel like going to Canada, you require a little bit more money to go rather than like Asia. I don't know, that's just like my kind of impression of it. Just going anywhere else but Asia, I feel like it's a little bit more expensive. But yeah, I really want to go Canada, especially Harry. He wants to go in the winter time so we can go skiing. Well, he can go skiing, I can't ski. If you created a makeup collection with Colourpop, what would it be? I would definitely make something not as a big collection. Something kind of like Karen's one just recently, how her one's just an eyeshadow palette and 3 lip colors. Like something very small and something that you guys can afford. Something that you guys can just use every day realistically, and like maybe like a highlighting palette, like an a quad or something, or just like a single highlighting shade. Something very simple, very small, not like a huge collection. Any advice for a girl who's struggling to fit in? First, I feel like you shouldn't try to fit in. If you are just being you naturally, you will just be in the group. You don't have to force yourself to be in the group. If you're forcing yourself, then you know that's the wrong kind of people you should be hanging with. But I get what you mean. I've acted different before in front of other people to like try to fit into their group, because if I didn't act like them, maybe they wouldn't like me. And I've always had this thing when I was young, like ever since I was a kid, I was always left out, okay? I was the slowest one. I was always falling behind people and I always would be left out, and I guess that like kind of traumatized me. As I grew older, like I've always wanted to like be in the group. You realize, why are you trying to fit in with these kind of people? Like they're forcing you to be someone that you're not. And if you just be you and you fit into a group just naturally, that's when you know that group is made for you. The question is, how do you overcome FOMO? What in tarnation is FOMO? I need to Google this. What is FOMO? Anxiety that an exciting or interesting event may currently be having. I have this. I have this a lot. Like I said, like when I was a kid, I always felt left out. So I always get like anxious if like someone else is out doing something without me. I feel like as you just grow older, you realize what's important. If you're worried about what's on Instagram or what your friends are doing, you just grow up and you realize like you just want to be healthy. You just want a roof over your head. You just want to pay the bills on time. Like these little things, it really becomes so small. And I also think traveling helped me a lot as well to realize that. Do you have a job outside of YouTube? Yes, I do, honey girl. YouTube does not pay you good, okay? Ever plan on traveling to the US? Would you go to see LA, New York City? Of course, I so want to go to the States. Again, I think it's something that you need a little bit more money to travel to. I don't know, I just feel like Western countries are a lot more expensive to travel to than Asian countries, because shopping in Asian countries is cheap, food is cheap, transportation is cheap, you know what I mean? So like those three main things, when you come to traveling, you save a lot of money. So I feel like Asia is just, it's easier to travel to at this point. Definitely later in the future, I would love to. And also a similar question is, have you ever been to the States? Where would you want to visit? I haven't been to the States. Where I would want to go? LA obviously, New York, Miami, just like what you see in the movies. Where's a place that you guys think I should go in the States? Next question is, how old are you? I am 22. I'm turning 23 this year. 23 sounds like really old because you're like hitting your mid-20s now, almost. How do you deal with strong parental and societal expectations for you to succeed? For me, like in the moment, I always get stressed out about it. I freak out about it. I doubt myself about it. But always at the end of the day, like when I go to bed, I just know like God has a plan. Sometimes like being successful is not the most important thing, you know? Success to everyone is different. For some people, being successful is having a bunch of money. I pretty much just say F it. We don't need to be taken so seriously. Everyone is at a different pace in life. And who cares if I'm not your definition of success? For parents, I feel like they're your parents. No matter what you do, at the end of the day, deep down inside, they just want you to be happy. I mean, it's different with every parent. Like, I don't know your relationship and stuff. They might say these things, pressure you to do these things, but at the end of the day, like their intentions are good. The way they are saying it might not be the right way to say it. Are you living with your parents or in your own house? I live by myself now. Not by myself, with Harry. I moved out. Sorry guys, I'm like sweating. Me and my boyfriend. Got my 2 cats here. We moved out last year, May, and it's crazy to think, like, we almost moved out 1 year ago. If you did any tertiary education, are you doing anything related to your degree? And YouTube-wise, no. My certificate was in hospitality, but my job apart from YouTube is in hospitality. So I guess I am doing it, but I'm not pursuing it, you know what I mean? Would you ever move to the States? Like I mentioned before, I want to move out of New Zealand in the future, one day. The countries that I have in mind to move in is maybe Australia, the UK, or Canada. Canada is a very strong candidate though. Do you listen to any other Korean music besides DPR Live? So I've actually been listening to a lot more Korean music, like especially last year. I'm not really into like K-pop. I'm more into like Korean, kind of like soul, R&B. I've been liking Sam Kim, his song called Makeup. I have a couple of other songs that I like from him, but I like Makeup the most. Also, Epic High is really cool. I like Here Comes the Regret. And then I heard Eyes, Nose, Lips. So I like the song from Bobby. It's called Secret. Like these people might be very, very old or like not as poppin' right now, or their songs might be very old, but I literally just discovered them like most recently, definitely last year for sure. Harry has introduced me to some really cool people. So Jang Dok Chol. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that wrong. I literally have goosebumps. How to deal with someone who's depressed and at the same time like acting out. I think you just gotta like sit them down and just talk to them, like DMC. Make sure you make them feel like they can trust you, they won't be judged, because the reason why I don't open up to a lot of people is because first, like, people really just like to jump to conclusions. They like to judge. If they don't feel secure with you or safe with you, then they won't talk to you at all. You know what I mean? And if you're not that person for them, you might know someone else that is that person for them, and then maybe you should, like, you know, sit them up or something like that. How are the cats getting along? That's so cute that you asked. Harry and I had a 2-week break over the Christmas holiday. During that time, because we were home a lot, they really got a lot closer, because before we had the holiday, when we would leave to work, we would kind of like close the doors. So this side would, like the living room and the kitchen, it would be like Tubby's side, and then the bedrooms would be like Rocky's side. But ever since we stayed home during that 2-week break, we don't close any doors anymore. Tubby really loves Rocky. Like, he really wants to play with Rocky. So Tubby is this stray cat, our new kitten. He really loves Rocky, and it's so cute. He always wants to like play with her. Like, he'll run to her and jump to her and stuff. But Rocky's still hissing at Tubby. It's gone better for sure. Like, we have made progress, but I don't know, I just felt like maybe like a month in, Rocky would at least be hissing less. I'm like done with my judgment. I'm so full. How did you become a Christian? Why is your faith so important to you? Harry taught me pretty much everything I know about being a Christian and everything like that. But like with him, I have less worries and days of doubts. I always refer back to him, and I just feel better knowing like he has good plans for us. There's so many things that like I prayed for, and the things that I prayed for, I didn't expect it to come so soon, or the way it happened that way. I didn't expect it to happen that way. I had it in my head like, oh, it happened this way, but the way everything planned out, it's kind of like, if it wasn't for this thing that I prayed for wouldn't happen, like for this and this and this. So it's just like, he's just so present, you know. What do you love the most and hate the most about the makeup community? What I love the most, not really the makeup community, but just kind of like this industry, like social media, is that you can literally do anything and you can make a living out of it. You could be into cooking, you could be into gaming, makeup, fitness. Like, there's just a genre for everyone out there, and I love that. Like, I love that in this generation, like, we don't need to go to uni and be successful. There's other options for you to do, and I feel like it just opened a whole new career path for so many people. You can kind of turn any hobby into a passion, and that's what I want to do. And the thing that I hate the most about the makeup community is that there are just so many things. Not personality wise, more like their followers are fake. People like to buy their followers and their likes, and it's just so obvious to me. I can just, it's like black and white. I can see when someone on Instagram has bought their followers to as a person that didn't. And the reason why I hate it so much is it's just because I've been doing this for a while now. Most people that has been doing this, like how long I've been doing it, which is like 3 years, probably be like successful at this point. Successful, like they probably would have, their career would have taken off a little, but for me it's not, it hasn't, which is fine. I'm more understanding of it now. Before I would be more frustrated of it. Like, why is it not taking off? Like, I'm putting so much work into this. But right now I'm very content with my channel and the content that I produce out. And to me, it's like they're getting reward for work that they bought. So that's something I hate the most. Just people buying their followers and likes. It's just, it pulls me weird. So yeah guys, that is pretty much it for today's mukbang. I'm gonna save the rest of this for Harry. We'll have it tonight for like my little midnight snack. Thank you guys for eating with me. Let me know what you guys were eating if you were eating along. Thank you for sending your questions over my way if you did. If you want to ask me questions next time for the next Q&A, be sure to follow me on Instagram, because that's where I always ask you guys. On Instagram it's just very easy because they have the tools for you to do that. They have like the questions, the polls. So I'm always on Instagram asking for your opinions. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Thank you for joining me on this little session. I'm out. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!